Hi, Steve Mills here. This video is about frequency. I'm holding a weight because I want to demonstrate something. If I try to do some curls right now, it's a little bit difficult as I'm sat in a chair, but I'll try and do it. You can see I'm off and I'm doing curls. I wonder how many I can do before I start to really struggle. I'm up at about 5 or 6. I've got, I think it's about 8.5 kilos here. So for me, it's not that heavy. For other people it might be fairly heavy, but for many people who are serious about doing weights, it's not very heavy at all. In fact, it's fairly light. I don't know how many I'm at now, maybe 12, 13, something like that. But it's starting to hurt a little bit. And let's see if I can do just a few more. Yeah, I'm going okay. I'm up, I don't know, 15, 16. I'll do 20 and then I'll put it down and start to talk to you. There you go. So I think that's about 20. So yeah, I wanted to just demonstrate something, and I've got some questions for you. So my questions are around, I was doing curls there, and as I started doing it, it was getting harder and harder as I go along. Now, if I did another video in a month's time and did it again, I'd be pretty much at the same level. You with me? I wouldn't have improved because I did it now and then I do it again in another 30 days. However, if I increase the frequency and I did it, let's say, every day, how much better would I be in 30 days? Well, my belief is that I would probably be able to reasonably easily double the amount of weight and still do 20. Or I would be able to do maybe 40 or 50 of those curls. Why is that? It's because I've clearly exercised this muscle here. Yeah, I've exercised it and I've done it frequently. I've done it on a consistent basis. Now, if you think about that from a sales and marketing point of view, how can we use that? How can we use that in sales and marketing? Well, let's just take sales to start with, and take one aspect of sales, and that is getting on the phone. You know, this thing here, you know, it should have on the back here, I'm going to get one that says something like, pick me up and I'll make you a ton of money, because that's true. That's you know, that's a smartphone, but if I don't use it for selling, then it's a dumb phone. Yeah, and I want to encourage you to do that. Now, let's say I start doing my sales calls. Yeah, so instead of doing weights, I'm picking up the phone and making calls. How good am I going to be at it on day one? Well, probably not very. I'm not going to feel uncomfortable. You know, it's going to be difficult. You know, I'm not going to be able to do it as well as I could. Just like me then when I was actually doing curls with the weights. Does that make sense? What about on day 7? Do you think I'll have improved at all? Absolutely I will. What about on day 30 when I've made 50 calls a day for the last 30 days? Do you think there's like a slight chance that I might be better at making calls? Of course I would. I'll be far better at making calls because I've done this, I've practiced this skill 50 times a day frequently. In other words, on an ongoing basis. Now, some of you may know that I used to play table tennis at international level, and hitting a forehand at table tennis, I have done, I dread to think, it could be millions of times, and I can go on the table without even thinking while I'm talking to you over there and go bang, 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 and hit loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of balls because I've done it frequently again and again and again. And that, I believe, is where we all need to be in terms of our sales skills. How do you ask for a referral? Well, I was wondering whether you knew anybody else who'd be, you know, perhaps interested in what we do. You know, that's one way of doing it. It's not a very good way, but if you became more skilled at asking for referrals, do you think you could get more referrals? Absolutely you could. The question is, you know, are you doing it frequently? Are you asking? Have you tested? Have you tried to improve what it is you do? Now, how does this apply to marketing? Well, it's the same on something like, let's say, for example, LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn but not doing very much, so the frequency, I hear people say, well, I just don't get it. We don't win any business on LinkedIn, Steve. I say, oh, right, tell me, what do you do? Well, I get these odd weirdos asking me to connect, and some of them I just delete and others I connect to. And I post, Steve, I post at least once a week. And I look at them like almost gone out. I'm like, what, connecting to the odd person and posting once a week, and you seriously think that's going to win you some business? I can tell you now, it ain't. You've got to become better at it. You've got to be consistent on LinkedIn. This is not about going to the LinkedIn gym once a month. This is about being there every day, consistently, beating on your craft, getting better and better and better. And that takes time and it takes effort. There's no shortcuts. There's no, get rich quick on social media. I don't think. I've never found it anyway. And I've been doing this nearly getting towards 27 years now, and I've never found a get rich quick scheme on LinkedIn. That's all I've got to say, really. Whatever you're doing in terms of sales and marketing, I suppose fundamentally my message is crank it up, do more of it. Whether that's investing more time, doing more posts, sending more emails out. Forget the naysayers who say, you mustn't bombard people, so we finish up sending a quarterly newsletter out through email. That ain't going to work either. You've got to be in constant, never-ending communication. I'm not saying 10 emails a day. That would probably be over the top. But keeping in touch with people. One of the keys to marketing, as well as frequency, is consistency, and just that keeping in constant touch. Like right now, I don't need a solicitor. If you were a solicitor emailing me, I would have zero interest in hiring your service. None. But tomorrow, you might be the most important person in the world. I'm desperate for a solicitor. I really need one. You with me? So, that's why it's important if you are a solicitor, or if you are a landscape gardener or a plumber, or, anything else that people need when they need you, it's important to keep in touch on a regular basis, both with your customers and with your prospects, because customers will forget you. I'll hire a plumber, and then when, in 6 months' time, when I got a burst pipe or something in the middle of winter, and I think, what we're going to do? I know, I'll go on to Google and try and find a plumber. What was the name of the guy we had last time? Oh, I can't remember. So we'll go and find one on Google. And you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be losing customers to your competition because you've not been frequent enough. You've not been communicating on a frequent basis. So that's it. I hope that's of value to you. If you'd like more tips from me, I very happy, very open to have a one-to-one meeting with you. No hard sell. I promise that, and I'll genuinely try to help you with your marketing and your sales in some way. By doing so, I demonstrate my expertise, which goes back, as I said, nearly 27 years I've been doing this. And believe me, you don't get to stick around for 27 years unless you're really good at what you do. And without being big-headed, I'm really good at what I do. I've made many people many millions of pounds, and I'd love you to be the next one, perhaps. So that's it. If you want to book that meeting, by the way, just go to steve-mills.com. That's MILLS, steve-mills.com. You'll see a gold button in the middle of the screen. Click on that. That gives you access to my diary, so you can find a time that's good for you, fill in your details, and we can set up a meeting on Zoom. Simple as that. Thank you very much for listening.